Hello and welcome back. All right, so in this lesson, we're going to go over the content aware move tool, which works very similar to the patch tool, except you're going to make your selection outside of the area that you want to retouch versus selecting what needs to be retouched. So I'm going to show you how to use this content aware move tool in this lesson. So the options are pretty much the same. We have ways to add or remove from our selection. We do have a new option here to either move or extend that selection that we make prior to applying it to that particular area that we need to retouch. It just provides two different ways of applying that information and blending it in. We do have structure and color, and we also have transform on drop, which will allow you to transform or resize the selection that you made prior to committing it to that area where you want to retouch. We also have an option to sample all layers if we're working non-destructively, which I do. So I'm going to go ahead and create a new layer, and then we can turn on or turn off all sample layers. If you keep it turned off, then it's not going to work because it's not going to be able to sample any of the layers that you need to get that information from. So let's go ahead and turn that back on. We'll keep everything else set at the defaults, and we'll go ahead and put the mode at move for now. All right, I'm going to go ahead and zoom in with my zoom tool. And here's how it works differently. Instead of selecting the area that needs to be retouched, we select an area outside of that, and then we place it over the area that needs to be retouched. So it's basically the opposite of the patch tool. So I select a part of the shirt, and then I can drag that over the area where I want to apply it. Once I release the mouse button, I'm going to get a transform tool, which will allow me to resize as needed. I never really find that works out very well because the pixels inside it get larger or smaller and don't tend to blend in with the rest of the area. At least that's my experience. And again, I don't really use this tool. I just use the patch tool. I find it's a lot easier and quicker to use versus the content aware tool. But I just want to share with you another tool in case you can't get one of the other tools to do what you need it to do. So to commit this selection to this location, I just click my return key or my enter key, and then it's going to blend in that area. All right, let's go ahead and go back in time here. And let's go ahead and turn off transform on drop because that's something I don't think is very useful. And once we reapply a new selection and place it over, it then updates that area with that new selection and it blends it in. All right, now we could try and pick out a larger area, but just like with the patch tool, it's not going to blend in very well because it's much lighter over here, it's darker over here, there's a little bit of a crease, so it's not all going to line up perfectly and blend in very well. But you also notice down here, it moved that particular selection down here as well. If I undo that, we can see how the shirt down in this area changed as well to try and blend it all in to make it look as natural as possible. Now, if we compare that to extend, it's going to give us a different result. So I'm going to basically make the same selection here and move it into this location. And this time it's just updating this part of the shirt and not down here. All right, so that's how you use the content move aware tool. Again, it's one of those tools that you're going to need to practice with and experiment with it to see if it's going to give you better results than the patch tool. But I find that the patch tool works much better versus the content aware tool. All right, in the next lesson, we're going to take a look at the next healing tool, which is our red eye removal tool.